WSTSradio.com. Two of our three Indiana County Commissioners with us next as we talk with Commissioners Chairman Mike Kieth and Commissioner Sherene Hess. Our visit this morning presented by Marcus & Mack, voted best law firm and best personal injury lawyer 3 years in a row in the Best of Indiana County contest. Visit them online at marcusandmack.com. I don't know if as commissioners you get these calls, but, getting a call at 2 o'clock in the morning and say, heat's out at the jail, that would not be a happy call to take because you'd have a lot of angry people there. But maintenance of buildings, we talk about it all the time. When you have aging buildings and aging vehicles and aging people working on them, the cold weather can be a real challenge.
That it can, especially plowing the snow and everything with the snow plow trucks. We do have them just like everybody else. And getting the workers out early in the morning to have everything plowed out, ready to go to accept the employees at each facility, it can be challenging on days like this.
Yeah, I bet you. I wanted to ask you this. There was some other natural disaster last year, and I thought this would be a good question for our commissioners. But the Los Angeles fires bring it up again as a topic. We can't plan for emergencies. We can plan our responses as far in advance as we possibly can, but we don't know what that emergency is going to be. We don't know what the needs are going to be that come up. So, how does Indiana County go about that? I assume that you have a number of different folks who get involved, Tom Stutzman being one of the leaders of that. For planning for disasters, tornadoes, fires, whatever it happens to be, it's a really important function of the government, isn't it?
That it is, and actually the county plays an important role in planning for emergencies. Every month there is a group that actually meet, the LAPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee. They meet monthly to discuss, different facilities, making sure that the unknowns are known. And then after that, you have the disaster group that actually meets every month also, again, to sit down and talk about possible disasters. And again, our disasters versus somebody else in another part of the country could be different. Mm-hmm. But the group actually focuses on, and everybody has a part of it, of what to do in case something like that does happen. And then the county actually has what we call Team 900. And they're a hazmat team. Along with that is a rapid intermediate response technical team that actually trains, and they train monthly with the equipment. And actually, the equipment is some is owned by the county and some is owned by Region 13. But with that combined, there's adequate equipment that they feel that they have to handle any disaster that comes into play. But again, you can prepare all you want, but the time when it happens. That's when you find out whether you do have it or not. That
training kicks in. Yeah, as we were saying that, Sherene and I both noted there went an emergency vehicle by. But Sherene, when Mike said that, it reminded me that the incident I was thinking of to ask you about before was the East Palestine, the train disaster there. And we have a bunch of train traffic that moves through Indiana County.
We do. That is true, and I think that that's certainly on the radar screen. And it's the days that the disaster happens and the aftermath of it are certainly important. But it's all those days of preparation and making sure your vehicles and all of the equipment is ready to go. That's where the rubber meets the road, so to speak. And we had an opportunity to take a tour of all of the equipment that the Emergency Management Agency has for their operations. And it's really quite astonishing how, the technology that's involved and the minutia that's involved to make sure that those things are ready to go. Yeah. And so I think Indiana County can rest assured that we do have an excellent staff, an excellent a group of volunteers and partnerships, and that intergovernmental arrangements that's so important, and so that when something happens, you're ready to go. And then we, I was saying, I don't think I meant, we did a tabletop exercise not too long ago with emergency management, and it was really interesting. you can have all that equipment and all of the right expertise in the room, but a big part of that day is communications and who's doing what, who's going to be where. So all of those things come into play too. It's quite fascinating.
I bet
the
you
machine at work there.
when things like East Palestine crop up, guys like Stutzman, their ears perk up and they say, all right, that happened there. I could see how they're going. I'm going to go to school on that, and I'm going to learn what I can from the way that they're responding and the issues that they're running into, make sure that we have it covered here in Indiana County.
Yeah, and again, training is a necessity. Not only do our county teams do the training, but your local fire departments, ambulance, police, they all take that same training, especially for hazardous materials, because you wouldn't believe just running our like 119, 286, 422, the number of transporting chemicals across those roadways in our county. If people would actually stop and understand and know what's going across, they would see how big of a problem it could be if it got out of control.
Yeah, and when the rail lines run there in Pack Saddle Gap,
Oh, yes.
those are areas that are so remote, but they could be real emergencies. Something gets into that river.
Yeah,
Correct.
and truly, all those volunteers that actually do this to protect our citizens, I got to give them hats off. I mean, listen, they're not getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
They're willing to actually get the training and make sure when bad things happen that that they actually can be able to control it and good things come out of it. And again, I've been seeing in the newspaper and listening on the radio with the mentioning of the EMS authority next Wednesday and Thursday, the meeting on the ordinance at Homer City High School. I mean, this is a big key for local municipalities to make the next step forward for this county.
Mm-hmm. All right, so tell me why.
Well, first of all, the authority would actually help coordinate things like things for the emergency authority. And the first thing is we all know the situation of the ambulance in Indiana County. And the first step is we've got to actually help that authority. It will be set to help make sure that that ambulance service is still there for Indiana County. But with the understanding that the local governments, that's who it actually lays back on according to the statute, the local governments, this is another tool for them to help them make that successful for the future of Indiana County. Later on, and I don't know when that'll be, but later on, it will be working with the fire departments. But right now, it's the ambulance service that is in the dire need to help out with that portion of it.
Sherene, it's a really important part of the picture, of the puzzle, isn't it?
Sure, an authority is a vehicle to raise funds and be a collective voice for advocacy related to regulations and legislation needed to make emergency services and all those partnerships really work. An individual municipality just doesn't stand a chance when it comes to the expense, how expensive things are. So this is a vehicle to have a collective way of doing it. And that's important.
Yeah. I don't know that I intended for this discussion to get so deeply into emergency matters, but I think it's a good discussion to have. There are other things, of course, happening around Indiana County, first of the year, and you've got some boxes to check off, don't you?
Actually, we do, and Commissioner Dunlap actually is at a tax collectors training this morning. It's today and tomorrow, but that's to help the tax collectors understand the new system that's coming into that we're going to be using at the county level. And it's, again, something, a newer step for us to update our systems and make things more efficient. So those people are there today and tomorrow to learn what it's all about.
Yeah. And their role in keeping this county going can't be overstated.
For sure. It's a big wheel, and there's all sorts of folks turning that wheel to make things go forward. And those are the behind the scenes things, and then we have a lot of economic development, community planning, and our parks and trails are busy trying, working to make things better there, make Indiana County a nice place to visit, and have lots of recreational opportunities. We've got a lot of great things happening, lots of great projects. YMCA's doing a renovation. The county's helping to just coordinate some things there, and we got the Welcome Center. We're not quite sure what that's going to be called, but that's going to be opening this year. what else? There's so many things going on.
Broadband, you can't.
Well, yes, broadband still continues on. It's almost, we
We're
shouldn't
almost
forget
we're
that.
almost finished with that contract we actually signed up for, and so we're probably next step is the next contract to look. We can move forward on that also.
Oh yeah.
We can't stop that.
No. And
That's an essential part of today's living.
And now there's a lot of funds out there for making it affordable, helping people connect and do all those things. And once you got the hard stuff done, now you got to get that part done.
People get a little impatient, and we understand, certainly, because we've been waiting a long time for broadband to happen. And when, especially, I think it becomes harder to be patient when you see the line running past, and you say to yourself, well, why hasn't someone come knocking on my door? But all of the steps have to be followed properly in order to make that happen. And we'll have to wait until everything is ready to roll. But it's a great positive step for Indiana County getting this broadband completed.
Everywhere we go, probably at least one person says, "Hey, I got my connection. I'm really happy." So,
oh yeah,
it's really happening.
It's good to know.
Yes, true. It's coming, Todd. It's coming.
County commissioners joining us once a month. We're happy that you do that. What's coming up at the next meeting? You working on that yet?
Actually, we've got the agenda. I don't think it's just mostly routine business at this meeting. Yeah.
One proclamation is for seniors. It's devoted to the seniors and their what am I trying to say? Our aging services. Folks are going to come over, Janine Most, and talk about the importance of seniors and the independence, those and all the services that our great aging services folks have available.
Yeah.
So that's I always like proclamations.
Sure.
They're fun.
Sure. Well, you've got all of that happening. I know you keep an eye on Harrisburg because the governor's going to give his budget address soon.
Yeah.
And lawmakers will respond, and then that whole process starts up again, and counties very anxiously watch to see when, if, and how much funding is going to be coming.
Yeah, not only state government, but now with the new administration, we've got to watch and see what the federal government is too, because there's parts of our county departments that actually have federal funds that come in. So we got to keep an eye on those and see which way they go.
Yeah, absolutely. So busy times, there's no slow time. And,
That's right.
and it just keeps rolling right at you. Our thanks to you for coming to visit with us, Commissioner Mike Kieth, Commissioner Sherene Hess.
Todd, thank you. We appreciate once a month coming in here to update people.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Fox News is next at the top of the hour, a couple of moments away, and then Josh Whittison from our WCCS newsroom on a Tuesday morning.